Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the man KOZUKI Oden into the 10-star Garp challenges. So, in today's video, we are taking on Dofi 1, Revolutionary Army 1, and the WhiteBeard Pirates. And funny enough, we actually use the exact same team for all three. Even though I didn't even really plan for that to happen, I sort of just built the team for the WhiteBeard Pirates and then just sort of rolled into the other three. So shout out to the broski Toadski. I know he does this sort of stuff, but this wasn't actually planned, but funny enough, this team managed to clear all of them. And funny enough as well, we don't actually use KOZUKI Oden super typing. So the thing about KOZUKI Oden super typing is it's not amazing. Honestly, it's not the greatest super typing going around, and the units you have to bring, there's not a lot of units that can actually proc it that fall under the same color as him. Now, there are a lot of good units for particular content, but most of the really good red units don't have the names that he's looking for. So that's enough about Oden. We'll talk about the team as we move into the first piece of content. So let's hop in. Alright, homie, so the first event we are taking on is Heavenly Demon 1. So the team consists of a double KOZUKI Oden team. We have Vivi Rebecca as a sub. We have Saba Koala as a sub. We have the Coliseum Enel and Inven Clay, Bon Clay and Inven Kov. Now, the combination of Saba Koala, Vivi Rebecca, and Inven Clay on a KOZUKI Oden team works incredibly well, with the captain ability of KOZUKI Oden giving 1.5 times HP to our entire crew, and the ship of the Victoria Punk giving us extra damage when we have those Wano Orbs. With the stalling capabilities of Inven Clay and the healing of Vivi Rebecca, we can do a lot. So on the first turn, we are going to kill the red and the green Marine. That way we can get the cooldown of our red units and our Vivi, as we want to switch into Rebecca on the second turn and switch into Koala on the second turn when we come up against the Vacuum Cleaner Lady. So on the Vacuum Cleaner Lady turn, we are going to switch with our Inven Clay for the damage reduction. And then we're going to use their special to get the 5 turns of healing. Then with our switch abilities of Vivi Rebecca giving us a 2.5 times chain lock and the 1.5 times color affinity for Saba Koala, we can just blast our way through the Vacuum Cleaner chick. On to the next stage now, we come up against Rebecca. Rebecca puts up 4 turns of defense up and paralyzes us for 3 turns. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to use our switch ability of Vivi Rebecca to get our Vivi out and a 2.5 times chain lock. Then we can use their special to remove the defense up. Finally, we can use the special of Enel to remove the paralysis, and with the switch ability of Saba Koala, we can get the color affinity, so Vivi Rebecca will be hitting ridiculously hard. Now, we did get lucky and we did get a Wano Orb on them, but it's not overly essential, as we don't really need it. Actually, I didn't actually switch with Vivi Rebecca on that stage. You do want to make sure that you stay as Vivi, so you are the green color typing. On to the next stage, we come up against the Dressrosa gang. What we're going to do on this particular stage here is we're just going to start taking out units so that we can stall on one of them. So I always find the best units to stall on is either Hack in the front, or I think it's Daguma, the Imp unit in the back. So make sure you guys take out all of the units around the outside, utilizing the switch abilities of Vivi Rebecca and Saba Koala just to get extra damage. You can use a KOZUKI Oden special either on turn 1 or turn 2 here, just to make sure that you do have the damage to take out all of the enemies around the outside. Now, the idea is to keep King Punch alive as well and finish him before he does that deadly punch. So depending on the cooldowns that you guys get, it's dependent on when you want to use that Oden special. You can use it on the very first turn no matter what. But on this particular instance, I actually kept Daguma alive, as we have so much HP, and with the switch abilities of Inven Clay and Vivi Rebecca, we can continuously heal up and give ourselves damage reduction. Once you get down to a 1-turn cooldown on King Punch, make sure you take him out, otherwise he will death hit you, and that'll basically be the end of your run. Ideally, you just want to stall on one of these Dressrosa units, just so you can get your cooldowns back for Inven Clay and Enel, as you're going to need the paralysis removal and the despair removal once again after we leave this stage. When you get down to a 2-turn cooldown is usually the time to move on, but like I said, with the switch abilities of Inven Clay and Vivi Rebecca, you can just do so much in terms of tanking damage, getting healing back, and with that just a massive health pool that Oden provides, there's really no issue with taking damage. Now, you don't have to run the Victoria Punk if you don't want to. You could run the Liberal Hind. The Liberal Hind will give you a little bit of extra healing every single turn as well. But I just found that extra damage with the Victoria Pong and having such a large HP pool, it didn't really matter. So now that we're close to our specials, we are going to utilize that extra turn that we have to stall. And then we're going to take out Daguma when he hits the 1 turn cooldown. That way when we move into the final stage, we're going to have our Vivi Rebecca special back. We're going to have our Invinclay special back, as well as our Enel special. We do have our other Odin specials, so we don't really need that friend Odin back just yet. But as much cooldown as you can possibly get on that stalling stage is always nice. On to the next stage, you come up against Bardo. Bardo puts up a 20 turn hit barrier for 2 turns. You can actually use the Victoria Punk on this particular stage to remove one of the turns of the barriers. But ideally, you just want to switch with Invinclay, use their special to remove the Despair, and get that 5 turns of healing. That extra 5 turns of healing is just amazing, as you can just sort of carry that through, as this team has so much damage that we can just polish off Bardo. We're going to use an Odin special here just so we have enough damage to take out Bardo nice and easily. The Odin special, if you have matching orbs, just does so much damage. Just Wano orbs, they just put out so much extra damage. The downside to Odin special are you do actually need to have matching orbs, or you do need red slots. On the next stage against Treble and his gang, we can use the Enel special to remove the paralysis. And then with the Wano slots that we have left over from the stage before, we can just sort of blast our way through Treble's HP pool. The guys in the back do hit pretty hard, but with that auto heal from Invinclay, we just have so much HP, and with the HP pool that Odin provides, we don't even have to worry about taking a shot from all 3 of them. Normally they do just like 30,000 damage, but with Odin having 77,000 HP, it's so much, man. It's so much. As you can see, we still have that auto heal as well from Invinclay as well, so we just don't seem like we're going to die at all. Once we get into the Dofi stage, he's going to wipe our buffs, so we do say goodbye to that auto heal, and then he randomizes our orbs. Lucky for us though, we did manage to get quite a few matching orbs, but with Sabo Koala, if you guys have unmatching orbs, they are going to give you matching orbs as well. What you want to do here is make sure that you have all your matching orbs available before you use the KOZUKI Odin special, and use the Sabo Koala's special for the attack boost. So with KOZUKI Odin special, we get a 2.5 times orb boost as well as Wano orbs. With Sabo Koala, we have a 2.25 times attack boost to our free spirits and our cerebral units. And with that, we just have ridiculous amounts of damage. Even without the super typing of Odin, we can just tear our way through all of these guys and just finish off Dofi easy claps. You can take 2 turns to take out Dofi here if you want to, but as I mentioned, we just have so much HP that taking a shot from that Cannoneer really doesn't mean too much. So there you guys go. That was KOZUKI Odin taking on Dofi 1. Taking it down fairly easy, but with strength being one of the stronger colors in the game, it was never really going to be that big of an issue. Moving into the next piece of content now, we're coming up against Revolutionary Army 1, and as you guys can see, the team has not changed. Supports on this whole team as well are just stat boosters. We do have some very good stat boosters, V2 Snake Man, 6+ Bullet, V2 Akainu, Roger. All of those stat boosters just give amazing stats to all of our units here. On the first turn against Garp and his Marines, we are going to take out the red and the green one once again, like we did on the first 2 stages. On the first stage of the Dofi event. And that way we can just get all of the cooldowns for all of our units. The reason that we don't want to switch with Vivi Rebecca is that we just want to make sure that we can switch with them on the second turn, as we just don't want to be the red unit. As we want to, switch into our red unit. Onto the second stage now, we come up against Bartolomeu Kumar. This is where we're going to use our Vivi Rebecca special to remove the defense up that Kuma provides. And then with the switch abilities of Sabo Koala to give color affinity, we can just blast through Kuma easy claps. The switch ability of Sabo Koala and Vivi Rebecca, the combination of those two just works so well. Especially for content like this, where you just want to try and salvage specials as much as possible. On to the next stage, we come up against Robin and a bunch of the girl lackeys. This is where we're going to use the switch ability of Invinclay to give us damage reduction, and give us 5 turns of auto healing, as well as removing the bind with their special. What you want to do here is you want to make sure that you take out all the girls around the outside. So just make sure you do take all of them out, as Robin has a 2-turn cooldown, and we can take her out on the second turn. That way we get our Vivi Rebecca back, and with the switch ability of Sabo Koala, as well as the switch ability of Vivi Rebecca, Robin just gets absolutely devoured. Moving on to the next stage now, we come up against Invinkov and Inuyasuma. Invinclay is actually going to Invinkov is actually going to blow away one of your middle units, and makes it a little bit tricky if you want to take down Inuyasuma in 1 turn. So what I do here is I actually use a Sabo Koala special to try and make sure that I have enough damage to take out Inuyasuma, but unfortunately my Vivi Rebecca got blown away. Ideally, you want Invenclay to get blown away. That way, you just have a little bit more damage to take out Inuyasuma on the one turn. But it's really not that big of a deal as you get your unit back on the second turn. And with the switchability of Vivi Rebecca there, you just have so much damage against these guys, and we can just take them out before they do their interrupts. You do want to make sure you kill Inuyasuma on that second turn, and you do want to make sure that you do kill Ivankov before the third turn, as I'm pretty sure Ivankov is going to blow away a unit, and Inuyasuma is going to slot seal you or something like that. If you move on to the next stage now, we come up against Morley and Bello Betty. Morley has a shield and attacks every 3 turns and auto locks onto himself. So what we want to do here is we want to use an Odin special after we use our switch abilities. Using our switch abilities, we can just try and get as many orbs as possible. So when we do use the Odin special, we do have as many Wano orbs as we can possibly get. With the Odin special, any Wano orbs are just going to output so much extra damage, and as you can see here, we just absolutely blast our way through Morley and Bello Betty. Onto the second last stage now, we come up against Lindbergh and Kurosao. Kurosao and Lindbergh give you a full board of block orbs and bind your right-hand side. Now, this is where I kind of got a little bit stumped, as I thought Enel would remove the bind, but unfortunately he doesn't. So with this particular team, you can replace Enel with someone like Rare Recruit Marco. Rare Recruit Marco would actually work a little bit better here, as that way you can just like probably wipe them on one turn. But we are just going to utilize this turn for a little bit of stalling, as we do want to make sure we can get our Sabo Koala special back anyway. So utilizing the switch abilities of all of our units when our right hand side isn't binded anymore, we can blast our way through Lindbergh. We are going to use Kurosao as a stalling stage, as he doesn't do too much. He does put out a little bit of damage each turn, but he attacks every 2 turns, so it's not the end of the world. Utilizing the switch ability of Invenclay for the damage reduction and getting the auto heal back with Vivi Rebecca, we can easily stay alive against Kurosao here. He doesn't really pose too much of a threat. So once you get your unit specials back, especially your Sabo Koala special back, that is when we are going to move on to the final stage against Sabo and Koala. So now that the special bind's gone and we have 1 turn cooldown on Sabo Koala, we can blast our way through Kurosao here and move into the final stage. Onto the final stage now, we come up against Sabo and Koala. Sabo Koala give you, I think it's 4 turns? 3 turns of burn, and they do a 50% HP cut. So that burn will kill you, as they do have a res mechanic. So you want to make sure that you bring a chain lock or someone to get around that burn. I use the switch ability of Invenclay here and then utilize their special for the auto heal. The auto heal is not really essential. It's just, it is what it is. So we mainly want to use our Sabo Koala special here and then use the special of KOZUKI Odin to turn all of our orbs into Wano orbs, as well as giving us a crazy high orb boost. With the switch ability of Vivi and Rebecca, we do get the chain lock as well, which makes sort of getting through that burn very, very nice. Once they get the res back, we still have the orb boost from KOZUKI Odin, and we can just absolutely destroy Sabo Koala. So that was Revolutionary Army 1 with the exact same team. Does it fairly easily, so let's move into the WhiteBeard Pirates now. So onto the final 10-star Garp challenge, we come up against the WhiteBeard Pirates. And as you guys can see one last time, we are utilizing the exact same team. So hopping into the WhiteBeard Pirates, nothing else has really changed. What we're going to do on this particular piece of content is we are going to make sure that we take out the red marine in the front, so that way we can get all of our cooldowns. This team just does so much damage and just has so much potential. But as I mentioned, that core of Vivi Rebecca, Sabo Koala, and Invenclay, it just works so well with the amount of HP that KOZUKI Odin has. Moving on to the second stage now, we come up against the Watermelon Head guy. Still don't know this guy's name. Still not going to learn it, probably because we're never going to see him again in the anime or the manga, so it is what it is. Basically, he gives you 3 turns of attack down. We can use Enel's special here to remove that. And then with the switch abilities of Vivi Rebecca and Sabo Koala, we can just blast our way through this guy, easy claps. We pretty much still have all matching orbs from the first turn as well. And this guy doesn't really have too much HP, so as you can see, like, he just goes down very, very easily with our switch abilities. Moving on to the third stage, we come up against Higuma. I think it's Blenheim and Chain Ball Man. Again, these units, I don't really remember their names. They're not overly impactful in the show. In the Marineford arc, I guess they're pretty important. But once Whitebeard dies, it's kind of like, well, full spoilers. It's kind of like, who cares? So what we're going to do with our switch abilities here is just take out Blenheim and Higuma, and then leave the Chain Ball guy alive so we can finish him on the second turn. And then with our normal attacks, we can take him out as well. We do get special blinded on that stage as well by 3 turns, and if you leave Higuma alive, he attacks every 2 turns, and Blenheim in the back, I'm pretty sure he locks your healing. When we move into the next stage now, we come up against Speed Gilly, Ezio, and the Flame Swordsman. What we want to do here is we really want to take out Speed Gill in the back. So utilizing our switch abilities with Saber Koala and making sure that we stay as our VV unit, we can take him out easy peasy. On the second turn, we do want to make sure we take out Ezo. So we are going to use our switch abilities once again. And with the amount of red units on this team, we don't really have any issues getting through his HP pool. Depending on what cooldown you get on the Flame Swordsman, as well as depending on how much you can stall here as well. Sometimes he's on a 4-turn cooldown, sometimes he's on a 3-turn cooldown, sometimes he's on a 2-turn cooldown. So hopefully you guys get lucky and you don't get the 2-turn cooldown. But as you can see, like, even if he's on a 3-turn cooldown, you guys can pretty much take him out on the next turn anyway, just utilizing the switch abilities and your normal attacks. I always find that the Whitebeard Pirates, if you have the right units, isn't exactly the hardest. I always find Dofi 1 to be the hardest out of the 3. On to the next stage, we do come up against Jozu. Jozu puts up 3 turns of damage reduction and defense up, so utilizing the special of Viva Rebecca after we switch with Viva Rebecca for the chain lock is basically just going to destroy Jozu here. We can also use the switch ability of Sabo Koala for color affinity, and then with the special of KOZUKI Oden, we can get a orb boost to just absolutely destroy our man Jozu. Once Jozu's dead, we can move into the second last stage against Marco and Vista. Marco and Vista put up 3 turns of paralysis, they give us 3 turns of attack down, and they give us 3 turns of chain multiplier growth. So this is where Enel is just exceptionally good, but unfortunately for us, we didn't actually have his special ready. But even at level 1, he can still remove 2 turns of all 3 of those debuffs, and with the switch ability of Invinclay, we can actually get around the extra turn of paralysis. Now we still do have the attack down and the chain lock, so what we're going to do here is we want to just use the Invinclay special to get the auto heal, and that way we can get our VV Rebecca back on the next turn. After we basically stalled out that turn, we can utilize the switch abilities of our units and make sure that we take out Marco first. If you don't take out Marco quickly, he is going to paralyze us once again. And basically, as you can see here, we just, with normal attacks, just destroyed Vista as well. So that worked very, very nicely. On to the final stage, we come up against Whitebeard and Ace. Whitebeard and Ace are going to slot seal your captains and your bottom row. And then they're just going to wipe away all your beneficial effects. And then they're going to finish it off by doing a little bit of like end of turn damage. With the switch abilities of Sabo Koala, the special of Sabo Koala, the switch ability of Vivi Rebecca for the chain lock, and then the KOZUKI Oden special, we just have like every single buff under the sun. And as you guys can see, we don't even have like a full board of Wano orbs, and this team just puts up so much damage. So to finish off this video, we are going to watch the beautiful special that is Paradise Waterfall. They did such a good job with KOZUKI Oden's special. The animation is just so nice. As you can see, we only get 3 Wano orbs. Ideally, if we did have the super type available, we could get another Wano orb on our captains. But as you can see here, it's just not necessary. Like, it's just so much damage. So there you guys go. That was KOZUKI Oden taking on the 10-star Garp challenges. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content I post, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.